Greetings, guys. Welcome back to Gamers Den. We're going to go through the superhero stuff today. I know, guys, it's kind of weird, Thanksgiving stuff and everything, but there's no Thanksgiving heroes. So, but I did want to talk about something specific, something kind of cool, actually.
It's like Sea of Thieves going
Now,
on right
I
now.
know last month in October, Shade and I looked back on various kind of creepy Halloween thing villains and heroes. I want to look at characters. One of those characters actually piqued my interest with that. And kind of inspired this video today. We're going to be looking at characters that don't originate from the comics, but actually have older origins. Starting with one from that video, Dracula. Now, of course, Dracula started out in Bram Stoker's original masterpiece, his original book, which eventually got turned into a movie and spiraled into what it is today, with Dracula appearing in both Marvel and DC. Also, with that, Frankenstein, werewolves in general, not really Lawrence Talbot's werewolf, but a bunch of other, but some werewolves like Werewolf by Night, The Mummy, and other monsters like that from those original Universal Monsters pictures. However, they're not the only ones that have done that. Remember Thor? Remember Loki and the other characters from that stuff, like Hera and Odin? Well, for those of you out there who don't know, those actually have, specific older origins. Those Norse gods were, they actually had all kinds of stuff for them. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Loki might be messed up in the comics and in the movies and
Ooh, but
shows.
if you get back into the lore,
If you go actually back further into before he was in
actual
the
Nordic
comics and
lore,
actual lore for this character,
whoo boy.
oh, yikes! And we get in, and that goes double for the Greek gods. Hercules is actually a member of the Avengers in the comics, which, if he ever appears in the MCU alongside Thor, they have to fight. I'm sorry, it has to happen because it's gonna take too damn long for Kratos to be fighting him. Just saying. However, Hercules, by extension, has other characters. Anyone who's watched the Disney movie knows that. But there are other characters that actually appear in the comics before they ever got put to the screen, small or big. Case in point, Hellboy, as well as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Both of these lines of characters actually appeared first in comics. The Turtles actually didn't have different headbands. They didn't have different personalities. The only way you could identify which one's which is their weapon. It wouldn't be until further iterations of the characters that you could differentiate them. Kind of cool, huh? And once Hellboy got that movie, what comic? Spawn was the same way. Everybody knows Todd McFarlane's stuff now, but back when that movie came out, they never heard of the comic. I bet you anything, a lot of people who went to see that movie did not know that was based on a comic. Here's another one for you. You might be kind of weirded out about this, but the MIB actually started out as comics. Full enough, kind of cool, huh? And you actually can see that at the start of the credits. But they're really tricky about that. See, they put the credits when all these crazy stuff's happening. In the first one, it was us following a bug. Second one, we're seeing planets keep blowing up. You're not really focusing on the credits. You're focusing on what's going behind the credits. Kind of cool. Neat little trick, guys. Neat little trick. But for people like me, you know, we actually see that crap. Same goes for Big Hero 6. That's actually an old comic. The characters' names are even different in the comics, except for Baymax. except for Baymax. His origins are different, but that's about it. Other characters whose lore actually predates their stuff in the various stuff like that. Atlantis, Aquaman and Namor, Marvel and DC respectively, come from Atlantis, right? The lost city of Atlantis is one of the world's biggest mysteries. For those of you living on that rock, of course.
Man, when you brought up Atlantis, my brain immediately went to
The Disney movie.
that very underrated movie.
Yeah, and I watched that and watched Treasure Planet. For God's sake, guys, these are good movies. Well, Treasure Planet is. I don't know about the Atlantis movie.
I enjoyed it.
I hadn't gotten around to it yet. It's on my to-do list, as is a lot of stuff these days. But that being said, there are other characters and locations that actually predate their more popular known stuff. Let's see here. Well, Mickey kind of does, in a sense. See, Mickey wasn't Disney's first thing. Now, it's been well documented now, but Oswald wasn't the first either. Pete was. Yeah, that Pete. Piglet Pete, the bad guy that always harasses Mickey nowadays. Guys, he is the oldest Disney character that still gets used. Kinda cool. Of course, all the various characters from uh like Red Riding Hood, Three Little Pigs, Three Bears. All of these do appear in other media. People know this stuff.
Careful, Theo.
Yeah, sorry, I've been going at it. I need some drink, but I'll get it in a second. Guys, these actually go as far back to, those old stories, those old grim fairy tale stories. Um, Ruby actually has what was that, the monkey god, Suyin or something like that?
Sun,
Yeah,
based off of the tale of Sun Wukong.
right, and that's actually got some other stuff with
Or
that.
no, it was either Sun.
I
Might have
think
been
you're
Sun Goku.
either way,
Sun
it's
Goku
that.
Journey to the West, I believe it was.
Right. But that story actually is really old. It's a really old story. And has been, adapted a couple times. Don Quixote, you guys might not know this, but I did find this out from a Disney historian YouTuber. Disney, as far back as when Walt Disney was alive, has been trying to make an animated movie based on Don Quixote for years now, even to this day.
I
From
hate to be that nitpick guy, but
1940s to now,
eh,
for 60 years, but something's always come up. Either the story didn't go right, or they couldn't really agree on it. The budget's wrong. Whatever the problem, this movie has been trying to be made since Walt Disney's time. There's been a couple of those that have officially finally came into fruition. Case in point, everybody knows Frozen, right? She can kind of. I honestly think she can throw down with the superheroes.
that's actually based off of another tale. I believe
Right,
the Snow Queen.
right. And funnily enough, you actually know the author of this series of the Snow Queen, of the story, Hans Christian Andersen. How do you know this guy, people? Little Mermaid ring a bell? Yeah, the same guy who penned the origin for Frozen penned the Little Mermaid. And I know we were talking about superheroes before, but it is kind of interesting to know that there are all kinds of characters like that. And honestly, guys, a lot of these are in comics, or characters like Ariel and Elsa do throw down with some of the biggest bads in Disney's pantheon, as well as the Incredibles. So, and I'm sorry, Ariel can more often not wield magic, and Elsa can just shoot freaking ice. I'm sorry. If they wanted to be superheroes, I wouldn't be. You know what? I'm okay with that. um, but other characters that have appeared in the comics as well as a few things here and there. Sherlock Holmes. Kind of cool that Sherlock Holmes just rubs shoulders with Batman every now and again. I'm just like, and Sherlock Holmes even acknowledged that Batman is a greater detective a lot of times. Kind of cool. But yeah, these characters do. There's tons of characters that have origins that predate their more popular aspects, which is kind of cool. Ruby has tons of those, and I consider that
The
a
entirety of
very
Team
super.
Ruby is based off a tale of stories from the
The old Grimm's fairy tales,
Brothers Grimm tales.
and I kind of consider Ruby a superhero adjacent series, sort of like TMNT or Sonic. They're not technically superheroes, but they got powers, they've got abilities, it counts.
You know, as cool as
Same goes for My Hero Academia, which is it's a superhero show. It's a superhero anime. Anyone who says otherwise,
that's how I got this man hooked on anime in the first place.
well, you got Fairy Tail, and Fairy Tail does have a bit of superhero adjacents too. There is villains and monsters of the week type deal here, but there's also other stories that are a little bit
Which we still need to get you back into at some point. Maybe
right.
once we catch you up on some of the shorter anime we're watching.
Right. And honestly, I love some of these. And I did like Fairy Tail until it kind of jumped the shark. But I'm willing to put it aside. And I'll be taking it a season at a time for y'all. Giving you my thoughts and rating them accordingly. Once we're finished, I will rate it, increase or decrease it depending the overall quality of it. Let's just say that season's not going to get a very good one for me. Or at the very least, that's going to docket some serious points. And you'll find out once we get into that video. But that's later on the line.
But to be fair, I think there's multiple technical seasons in that series. But we can treat those 174 episodes as just one part. We're only halfway through it, man.
Right. Well, that's the thing, though. A season is typically 7 to 13, or at most 24 to 36 episodes.
So we're about 4 in, if we're going on the 24 episodes.
Okay. Let's try to take it about 24 episodes at a time. That'd be probably the best way to do it. Or books.
Or maybe art.
Because I do know that they
for the longer stories.
Well, I do know that they go into books because I've seen some of the DVD stuff, and they usually release them instead of volumes into books. Look it up. Um, but yeah. Besides that, guys, there's if you see a character, look up the origins of them. If they're not well known, there might actually be some stuff tied to them. If you recognize the character, but no, they don't typically be in comics. Again, look them up. Tarzan's appeared in comics and Disney and everything else. I don't know what Tarzan's origins was. I don't know if it was a book or if it was that very old TV show. Don't know. That's a whole nother rabbit hole when we actually look back on Tarzan as a character. That's going to be a hell of a video now, think about it. If we ever do that video, that's going to be a hell of a video. But with that being said, on the history of the character of Tarzan.
Oh my goodness.
Because he's not just a Disney character. Not by a long shot. Hell, we could probably wrap the Jungle Book into that because he kind of looks a bit like an older Mowgli if we're being honest.
There's a crazy theory I'll tell you about once you finish recording.
Is it Mowgli is Tarzan?
No, but it is a Tarzan theory.
Okay. Well, in any case, guys, I hope this gives you a little bit of more insight. Maybe look at your favorite characters a little bit differently now. Maybe when you look back through your comics, if you have comics, or if you watch your various shows and you see a character that's just like, huh? Look him up. It might actually be a real character. Or a real person in some cases. I've seen everybody from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby appear in both comic form and in the various animated series. Jack Kirby straight up is in a freaking episode of TMNT because he penned the original comics. Well, 2003 TMNT. So, look it up. It's actually really cool. But with that being said, guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, go down in the comment section down below. Let us know. Did you know about some of these? If you didn't, or if there was some that we missed that have origins that predate their more popular appearances, let us know. And if we ever do that Tarzan video, that is going to take some prep work. So if y'all want it, it's going to take some time. We're near the end of the year. We're trying to get some stuff off our plate, get some games done, but we got big plans going forward. Stay tuned for tomorrow because we're going to do a new game, a game that we've been doing, and that we haven't done for the entirety of October for the most part, I think. Right?
We didn't touch it because we took a break from that one. We checked out the Deus Ex game.
Right.
And
but
then
we're
I
going
think
back
October hit, and then we went into Dead Space.
Right. For that. And we'll get back to Dead Space. Don't worry. But we want to get this game off our plate real quick. On top of that, we'll be doing Scooby-Doo, of course. But you might have seen it on Sunday. And don't worry, we'll be doing more with that one. And Muppet Monster Adventure. I'm sorry, guys.
You've hit a block, haven't you?
I need 6 more Muppet tokens, and let's just say, there's only 108. I need 106. Well, and these are some of these are the hardest ones to get, and I don't know how long it's going to take for this video, but as soon as I get those Muppet tokens, I will go back to that. It's just not going to be this week. I don't even know when it's going to be, when we're going to finish that game. We will finish that game.
At some
Guys, this is a PS1 game, and the last couple of them, like at least 4 or 5 of them are racing ones.
Hey, at least we figured out the sprint button.
That does not help. Not with these. Okay, no. That might have helped with that one, buddy.
Oh, it did help with that one?
Remember? But that's the thing, though. You have to jump. And there's pitfalls.
I still think the funniest thing, though, was
I'm going to show him off screen, guys.
Well, I understand what you're talking about. It's basically like a Crash Bandicoot situation, where you have to run and jump at the same time.
And still win.
Yeah.
And jumping in this game with the camera is garbage. The racing in this game is garbage. So
I still thought that was really funny though after that.
It might be a little bit, but we're gonna try and work. I'm gonna try and get him to help me with these as well. Maybe we can get through at least 1 or 2 of them every now and again. We will get that final boss. It just might be next year, sometime next year, but we will get that done. Don't worry. But until then, we've got that one from last Sunday. We've got the new stuff from this week. And, of course, Friday. Guys, we got our gameplay stuff. But with that being said, guys, we'll see you guys next time. And, sorry about him waving his foot at you. Nobody needed to see that.
I'm laying down. I'm not sitting back.